Oh, that's the whole thing. I don't know if we have time for that. So next in the pipeline, what's going on? I know there was a lot of chatter from people following our Facebook page. They were wondering what was going on with these newer graphics we have been posting lately. And so here's some updated character designs. We've got some familiar characters that we're bringing back for our next project with some modest updates. And some other characters, new characters also being added as well. And I guess we're kind of going back to the beginning of the process all over again. A few years back, it was very, very exciting to show fans sneak peeks of the CG animatics when we're taking the rough, I guess, basic 3D and we're starting to choreograph all the scenes out. And so we get to finally show this to you folks right here. So some things that you see might seem familiar, and some things might seem new. Now this is like the earliest stages. Now once the CG starts to come together with the textures and the detailed models, then we have a more polished looking animation. And here's one that's further along.
Space Volt.
Yeah. Did anybody recognize that ship? Who said one?
That would be me.
You're going to have to turn in your Robotech card.
Yeah, you can strangle me from my side. How about
So, yes. For those of you, there has been a lot of wish lists from fans for many, many, many years, even though we've been producing Robotech Shadow Chronicles, we have been working on Love Live Alive, and we have been working on various projects. We got non-stop emails from folks about, like, what about the Sentinels? Remember that?
Yeah.
Well, here's one of the things about the Sentinels, is one of the rationales as to why the Sentinels had not been made in a long, long time is that, why did everybody watch Robotech back then? So, like, it was like the earliest form of binge watching back then. Because everybody had to rush back from school or wake up at 4 in the morning if you had some unfortunate time slot in your neighborhood to watch that Robotech episode, because it was literally like being on some kind of addictive carcinogen, and even if it was bad for you, you were watching it because it was just so addicting. But with the Sentinels, unfortunately, we were in the situation where the series had not been completed, but the story played out in comics and novels. So a lot of that surprise has already kind of spoiled itself. So an innovative approach to this is actually listening to the fans and actually letting fans have this project get made with their own money. And the reason is, with this, with a lot of the corporate support, it would always be like, I don't know, that sounds a little bit too fanboy. And we're like, you know what? Let's get the fanboys behind this. Let's do something fanboy. And so we're actually taking Robotech Academy and we're bringing it to Kickstarter. And actually, as we're speaking right now, the Kickstarter has just launched on their website. And so this is the newest project that we're putting together, Robotech Academy. This is actually based in the Sentinels universe, but it's with a different set of characters. The universe is very, very big. You have the Robotech Expeditionary Force dealing with the Robotech Masters on one side, and here you have the Academy on the other side. And what is the premise of the Academy? The premise is that you have all these officers, you have the brave heroes of the Robotech universe, but unless they're going to break some child safety laws, they're not going to bring their young kids with them.
Huh.
And so they're going to put them in the best and the brightest, the cream of the crop. They're going to the Robotech Academy to get access to the latest in technology. But when you have the family members of the best and the brightest in the Robotech universe and the highest technology in the Robotech universe in one place, of course you've created a target. And so as far as their parents and families are concerned, they're safe behind the front lines, or so they think. So you can imagine the rest. And here I guess we'll start with the Kickstarter video.
Hi, I'm Greg Snegoff. I'm one of the original members of the creative team, along with Carl Masek, of Robotech. Robotech Academy was one of Carl's dreams to bring the Robotech universe to a whole new level, a whole new generation of fans.
Part of Carl's sort of vision for Robotech Academy pulls in the children of the original group of characters, but on a totally new adventure set in the Robotech Sentinels world.
Let's see what this P-shooter can do.
I'm really excited about Robotech Academy because we finally get to address a question that fans have been asking for a very long time. What about the Sentinels? Well, now with Robotech Academy, we finally get to revisit that universe that Carl created.
His mind was so creative. He was always thinking of ways to bring in new storylines, new characters. He loved the Sentinels, and he wanted to focus on that when he came up with the idea of Robotech Academy.
Now I see the path I must take. No longer will I be subservient to the Regent. The time has come to act on my own.
Now, one of the most amazing things about this whole Kickstarter campaign is that you actually get rewards for helping out the production. Anywhere from a copy of the pilot to having your likeness appear in the actual pilot.
There are combo packs, there are digital copies, programs.
Autographed copies of some of my artwork.
You can participate as an associate producer.
This is like one chance for you as a fan to be part of this production where the fans can be the backers and be the ones who help make it happen.
It's really an incredible opportunity. It's designed for fans across the spectrum.
So, with your help, we hope to bring to you soon the exciting new world of Robotech Academy.
You're the reason we're here after nearly 30 years, and we want to thank you. And this is a way we can do it.
So what we're actually doing is we're putting it on Kickstarter, and based on the amount raised is actually going to define how much we produce. So what will happen is we're setting up with a modest goal to produce and do all the pre-production for the pilot episode. And so at the very least, those fans who get behind it, one of the things that's going to happen is you get to be immortalized in that we're going to put together a digital program guide. While we're putting the project together, we're going to document all of that for the fans who support this on Kickstarter. And then what will happen is everybody who does support this will have their names listed as one of the official backers. And then we're going to also have really high-level rewards for those of you where Robotech is your life. You get to basically end up. You know how like you see all these Hollywood financiers who get behind a movie and they get their name on it, you know, even though they're not a filmmaker by trade. Well, you guys live, breathe Robotech. You should have that opportunity as well. And also, for the really well-heeled, for those of you who can work out your travel arrangements to Los Angeles, you can be part of the recording process. You can be there when the actual cast and crew are recording their sessions, and be there with the cast and crew and seeing it happen to be put together. As well as other rewards that's going to happen is for those of you who, from the selfie generation, you can have your likeness put into Robotech, and so you will also be immortalized as one of the characters, in that episode forever. So we've got a lot of exciting rewards, and for those who I just want to see the movie now, we've got different. We have different reward setup ranging from seeing the film digitally, or you can also get the tangible box set deluxe version as well. So it's like we got something for everybody, and depending on the funds that are raised through this process, it's all going back into the production of the project. So if we exceed our goal, then what's actually going to happen is the amount of Robotech Academy we produce actually gets longer. And in a way, people are asking, why now? Why are we suddenly doing this? And I feel like this is something that we owe back to Carl, because Carl was working on this. He started working on this in 2008. And he actually had this in the back of his mind for years, because he had been chattering about doing storylines within the Sentinel universe that was not necessarily the main story. And he was actually even talking at conventions about the Children of Zor. He wanted to introduce an offshoot of the Robotech Masters. And finally, we get to have Carl's dream come true. It's a shame he didn't get to see it, but in a way, I kind of feel like he is seeing it. And this is our way to have his legacy continue in Robotech. Greg?
Just wanted to add one thing which isn't in the film you just saw. There's another specific reason why we're doing this through Kickstarter. Because if we were to go to a studio or a network or something and say, okay, come on guys, cough it up, you know you like it, you know it'll be a success, they probably would. But there's a catch to that. So if they cough it up, they're going to put in their 2 cents. And you know damn well they don't really know what the hell they're talking about. We all know that. And so this is a way to stay true to that dream, stay true to the universe, the way we all love it, the way we've all created it up until now.
Yeah, the nuts and bolts of that is you're catering to your audience, and when you're taking funding from a particular channel, a channel is seeking a very specific audience, like something like Spike is looking for just guys, or their Home and Garden channel is looking for gardeners. And so if we go to a specific type of channel, we are kind of, they will have certain goals in mind for any Robotech we produce. However, when we come to fans, we know exactly what they want is they just want authentic Robotech. And so for us, that's a no-brainer. That actually makes a lot of sense to us.
This is the way to keep it authentic.
So actually, now that we've got a little bit of explanation there, we get to show you a little bit more of some of the really cool graphics that were produced. And so here's actually a very cool shot of the Academy. And this was produced for us by Creavision. They're an extremely talented team based out of South America.
That's Mars in the background,
yes,
for those of you who don't recognize it.
Yes. And for those of you who are real astronomy geeks, that's Phobos, the smaller of the moons of Mars. I wonder how this would play. Would it play upside down? Oh, I guess it doesn't play anymore. That's interesting. Oh yeah, right. So one of the things that we're really excited about is if you look at the quality of the CG here versus Shadow Chronicles a few years ago, it's very evident how far along the technology has come. So, the rendering tools and the technology have gotten much, much better. And so here's a still shot of the Academy here. And so that is Robotech Academy. So, thank you. Actually, Kevin here actually has a lot of prize. Do you have the mystery box with you?
No, I don't.
Oh, you don't? Oh, I thought you had the mystery box.
It's his fault.
Damn it.
Oh,
But
whoops.
if I could add just something though, folks, already Robotech Academy, in mere 15 minutes since Tommy's announced it, already has raised $1,500 from you, the fans.
Thank you.
You know, that's actually kind of impressive because nobody here has left the room. So I gotta say, mobile technology
Good.
rules. So, all right, now that we've got, oh, actually here, you brought the, all right. We'll set that for the end of the panel, but now since we've got a little bit of time, we will open it up to questions, for those of you who've got questions. Yes, sir, in the back.
I know you probably got this before, but I'm probably going to ask it again. But, you know, since we had a rush of 80s shows coming back and being made into live-action movies, most notably Transformers, thanks to Michael Bay.
Yeah.
But is there any way in the future you see that happening to Robotech? Because that brought back all the old Transformers fans and all made a ton of new ones.
You know, those rights are over at Warner Brothers Pictures.
He's talking about transforming Robotech into live action, for those of you who didn't hear the question.
So the question was, we've got some 80s throwback properties that are now coming into live action as movies. And we do have the rights for Robotech over at Warner Brothers Pictures. They've been in development on it. They've been working on it for a while. And one of the things that's really important to us is we are not in a hurry to get the picture made just to get the picture made. Because that's when you get sloppy movies done. For us, what's important is we actually have a good story. So that is
everyone who asked a question, we have several Robotech comics here, so you can come up here and take your pick of what we have up on this table. So yeah, you can come up and take a comic, including one, who is this signed by? Yes, Robotech Voltron, also signed by Tommy here.
Like just one box?
So hey, so those of you in the back who asked the question, you're eligible. There you go. All right, next.
The camera.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, my question is, it's great you're releasing the novels digitally. What about the comics? Can you do that? The classic comics from the 80s?
You know, that's actually something that we're looking into. It's a good, the company that, the question was, now that we got digital novels, what about digital comics? That's something we're looking into. The company that's got the rights to that is DC Comics. And so, yeah, actually the first comic we did the digital thing with was Robotech Voltron. So that is available digitally on Comixology.
Want to get a comic?
All right, yes sir, in the black shirt? Yes. Yes.
He's asking about the adaptation of the Seven Seas, the little demo version that you just saw. The original is called Seven Seas: Legend of Blue. It has it was originally adapted into English very, very badly. So badly that I will not let you hear it. Unless I wanted to be really evil to the original people. No, there's some, it was totally, in fact, the only thing that I kept is the original animation. That's been, even I've edited that to some degree. But the visually it's pretty good. The stories are okay. The original storylines are not. So we have totally rewritten them. All dialogue has been rewritten. The soundtrack, the sound effects have been sweetened. The music is the same. Couldn't touch that. It will be seriously reworked. It's not going to have anything, if anybody, for some bizarre reason, has seen the original because it didn't get out of Korea, it will be very, 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 very different than what you saw.
I think when I picked it up for reference, I was their only customer.
It's a distinct possibility. Yeah. They did not do a good job in English in Korea. It sounds like a bunch of drunk expats.
Actually, I think that that translation job, it was done kind of similar to Macross the movie. It was done by expats. Students, yes. It was like and it ended up being more or less a language learning tool.
Evidently.
All right, let's see. Yes, sir, in the black shirt there. Yes.
How is the voice character casting going to play from the old projects to the new projects? Will they intertwine?
Oh, where possible, we will seek out the original actor.
Always.
So, like our narrator, we'll even look for him when we were told he was dead.
We never give up.
Yes, ma'am.
The question is there a possibility of animating the Robotech Voltron?
Wow, getting the rights for Robotech versus Voltron in print took so long. I could imagine getting the rights figured out for that in animation would take you. Maybe I could see digital comics being made, but that's a niche category. You've seen those. Some are good, some are well made, like The Watchmen. That's a pretty good one. Maybe a digital comic like The Watchmen. Reminds me of the '60s Marvel Comics cartoons, if you remember those. They look like web comics now. Yeah.
Way in the back. Let's get somebody way in the back.
Way back there. Yes.
Are we ever going to see more plot towards the Shadow Chronicles, like with their enemies after maybe the next generation or whatnot?
You mean a continuation of the Shadow Chronicles?
Yeah.
Correct.
Yes. In a word, yes. It's happening. It's a long, slow process, but it's happening. We would like to see it happen less slowly, but there are a lot of people involved.
Yes, in front with glasses. Yeah, crossover I'm not sure, but Dynamite is interested in doing more Robotech comics. Elmer and I, working on Robotech Voltron comics, we enjoyed that so much. We'd actually like to see those stories go on and on, but I don't know, having Chiron move in with Allura and stuff like that. I don't see that happening.
When in doubt, Kickstarter. Black hair, hand up right here in the middle.
Oh,
yeah.
Will there be more Robotech video games?
Will there be more Robotech video games?
We didn't have it in our schedule to announce it at this convention, but we're going. We'll have a more proper press release announcement, hoorah, and flashy signs and stuff like that, at a near convention in the future.
You can't guess which one that is. Hand there.
Yeah. What do you think is your best work?
What I think is, whose best? My best work?
Yeah.
Robotech.
There's a really weird film called Wicked City. Oh, you've heard of it? That's a really interesting movie. For anyone who hasn't seen it, it's going to stick with you for a while. That's pretty interesting. That's pretty interesting. I remember when we were still working on Robotech, the end of Robotech, and Carl and I were already doing a lot of features, My Neighbor Totoro and things like that. And he calls me up and says, "Come on over, I got something to look at." And he shows me Wicked City. I think the translation is Supernatural Beast City from the original title. And he says, "Take a look at this thing." And I watched it in Japanese, obviously not understanding a word, but you get the story. I had nightmares for a week. And he said, "Good, because you're going to be doing it." It's a bizarre movie, but it's really, really, really well done.
I have a question. Did you do Totoro before or after Wicked City?
Good question.
I don't remember which one. It destroyed several brain cells along the way. I don't remember which one we did first. It may have been afterwards. I don't remember.
But by the way, that's actually.
But actually, My Neighbor Totoro is also a beautiful,
that is
beautiful
one of my favorite works from you.
That's a beautiful film. Not the Disney version, the one Disney bought and then screwed up.
No,
the good version.
It's the trauma version.
Yes, the trauma version.
I really wish it had a title at the top, a sticker that said, "From the makers of Surf Nazis Must Die."
I really hope that. Yeah, why they have it is still a mystery. But can you still get it? The original version, does Trauma still have it?
No, there's been some weirdness
Disney,
where, yeah. Other distributors have been seeking out the rights to alternate tracks to include on DVD. But for some reason, yeah, Disney just likes their own tracks.
Can't imagine why. Another question. Black Hat.
Yes. My question was actually more towards the Robotech RPG. One of the questions I had was, I thought I saw the Dark Horse comic symbol. Are Dark Horse Comics still distributing your figurines, or are they no longer doing that since like...
Oh, it wasn't a Dark Horse symbol, but it was a similar motif. And this was a symbol that Palladium was using when they were releasing that super rare figure back in the 90s.
Right, okay.
And yeah, it was only used for that short run. They were looking for some kind of exotic Japanese symbol.
Okay, but it is Palladium who's doing the distribution.
Yes.
So if I want to pick them up, I'd get to that.
Yes.
Thank you very much.
And oh yeah, and if you're into MechWarrior or BattleTech, they stuck with the 1:285 scale. So apparently these are all compatible with many other figurine gaming pieces.
Oh, you don't lynch BattleTech fans?
Hmm?
Thank you.
No. You know, we're kind of like, you know, it's kind of like one of those distant, you know, family members where... Anyway, I'll leave it at that.
Lady, like, yes, you.
Okay.
Ears.
You're bringing, is there specific characters that you're bringing in for Robotech? Like from...
Oh, there's what?
Oh, the new one.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's see, good one. Good one, well, has a partial role, is General Emerson, of course, as you've seen. And we tried to make his little shoulder pads a little less dorky. And the other one that's really important is Zor.
Oh, all right.
Yeah. See, Carl was a Doom fan. And, you know, people would ask us, well, didn't Zor die?
Sort of.
Well, it was a clone that died, right? So if you really think about it, Zor is the Kenny of the Robotech universe.
Yeah.
So we have.
There's always a way out.
So we've got lots in store for that guy.
Black Christmas.
I read all of the books and all from Jack McKinney. And he did a good job on the storylines. I was wondering, since you mentioned that Shadow Chronicle, you might continue. Is there a way you can incorporate some what you wrote in the book?
You know,
bits and pieces. Yeah.
You know, when Shadow Chronicles first came out, there were some McKinney fans who were like so bummed. Oh, why are you making this other story, Shadow Chronicles? And then when they found out more about Shadow Chronicles, they were like, hey, there's a lot of stuff in here that was borrowed from the books I read. So, you know, we're very aware of the material that the fans are into, and so, you know, you're going to see, but at the same time, we don't want to be cookie cutter. We don't want to follow the exact same path and end up not having twists and turns and surprises. So we'll kind of do both. We'll respect the material, but at the same time try to do something new with it.
Look on it like parallel universes that intermix. So not all one, not all exactly one. Next one, right here.
Probably you have heard video designs like about movies. Are there plans or consideration of bringing more of the series of the master franchise and fit them somehow in the Robotech universe?
There were some attempts to do so. there were let's see, there was some effort to bring in some Macross 7 licensing at one point, and there was a little bit more licensing being brought in, but because of, I guess, some tensions between different parties in Japan, because within Japan itself, the rights of Macross IP appears to be somewhat fractured, and that had kind of played out through the courts in Japan. And so, you know, we lament sounding like a broken record over here, but you know, when some of those issues get worked out, I can foresee, you know, a lot more coming out. Yeah.
What about the soundtrack CDs?
That's right. Who buys CDs? Okay, let's hear the proportion. How many like to still buy CDs of your favorite music? Well, that's not bad.
Good.
Hard copies.
Well, you must be all 80s fans, right? All right, how many of you just want to keep it small and have it all in your iPod or iPhone in your back pocket? Wow, less than half. All right, I guess we're burning more CDs.
Next year for sure.
Okay.
Yeah, we kept pushing it back, but finally, you know, you can't push it back later than the 30th anniversary, so.
No.
It was the increasingly inaccurate 25th anniversary soundtrack.
Any more? Any chance of audiobooks?
Okay, watch it, sir. Watch it.
Yeah, here's the problem with audiobooks, is they work for bestsellers. So if it's like Hillary reading her book, that works. But the one category which is very niche, unfortunately, is science fiction. And so that's why you don't see as many science fiction audiobooks, is each book sells a much narrower number of copies. For some reason, you do see digital comics being done. So I could see more likely maybe something like that being done with the comic stories, more so than the novels.
More questions?
Will there be a sequel to Southern Cross?
Will there be what?
A sequel to Southern Cross?
General Emerson, you know, based, you know, the SDF-3, the ugly one, come on. We're kind of pretty much giving the Southern Cross fans a big bone here, all right? Or throwing a bone. Let's make sure I say it right.
Can't take him anywhere.
All right, that's going to be on YouTube, right?
Kevin, is it already on YouTube?
I'll put it on. Yeah.
Oh, so all right, so who are going to have a crossover with the vehicle force beat up with?
Yeah.
Will a graphic novel be released in regards to the comics?
Say that again?
I'm almost certain that's going to happen. With mini-series are more or less graphic novels begging to be happening.
Are you familiar with the Anomaly graphic comic book? They have some kind of technology where you can take a snapshot through an app from your phone, and then give you extra content into what's happening in the panel of that comic. Maybe something to look into for Robotech.
Interesting, yeah. Any more questions? You're hungry, it's lunchtime.
Oh, where's the box of giveaways?
Oh.
It's his fault.
Anyway, this was all coming together at such a lightning pace. It was kind of like when we were announcing Shadow Chronicles for the first time. Like we were actually uploading the trailer like 45 minutes before the panel was about to start, and we actually even had to have the cards done rush job, and Douglas had to drive down to Compton to have it picked up so that you could have it today. So these cards Douglas brought back from Compton for you guys, all right? So these are the very, very first cards of Robotech Academy when we announced it for the first time. So when you hold these items, you can tell your friends you were there.
I got it back here. Pass them all out to everyone.
All right. So thank you very much. I see the red card going up. So
thank you.
We've worn out our welcome.
Thank you very much for coming.